Hello, I'm John Frith. Welcome to this presentation on YFC Codicil. Estate duty is generally reported as 20% of net assets over 7 million for a married individual or 3.5 million if the individual, the testator, is single. However, liquidation and distribution accounts show that the estate duty paid is 25% of what heirs receive over 7 million or 3.5 million if the deceased is single. Heirs do get the net assets of an estate. Estate duty is a liability of the deceased and is paid from the deceased's assets. But executors don't reduce the net asset value used to calculate the estate duty amount by this liability. The result is additional estate duty. SARS disallowed an estate duty deduction, liability deduction in the first estate duty return for estate late W.E. Frith, but the Bloemfontein Appeal Court judgment in SARS versus Executor Estate Late W.E. Frith held that a 4Q or 4H residue deduction should not be reduced by estate duty. In essence, that means that if one has a residue that is to a charity or a spouse, the deduction includes estate duty, which, in my opinion, should have always been received. Estates with a spouse or approved charity as residuary heir are the only estates to pay estate duty at no more than 20%. By adding a YFC codicil to a will, one ensures that a 4H residue will result, and therefore that estate will only pay 20%. The Davis Commission has suggested rescinding the 4Q deduction due to the difficulties with determining who are partners. To prove the 25% effective rate, if a will gives everything to a trust and the net assets of the estate are 20 million, you would, and the deceased was married, the duty-free portion would be 7 million. 7 million from the 20 million is 13 million, and the estate duty on that, which would be the standard from the standard will, would be 2,600,000. Now we know that the heirs receive 20 million less the estate duty, which is 17,400. We also know that the 7 million is duty-free, therefore the duty will amount, or the amount of assets that were subject to estate duty is 10,400,000. And if you compare that 10,400,000 to the estate duty paid, you'll find that's 25%. Now, had everything been given to a spouse or everything being given to a spouse or a registered charity, there would be no estate duty. So it is the other bequests that cause the estate duty. To have the 20% as the effective rate, you would have had to add the estate duty paid to those other bequests. So now let's have a look at the effect of adding a YFC codicil. The standard will, as we know, gives heirs 17,400,000. Adding YFC codicil brings in two new aspects, a generosity factor and a formula that calculates the total value of specific bequests, or X. The generosity factor is the value or the the total of the benefit that from YFC Codicil that will remain for the charity. On this occasion, 100%. So we've now got a new factor in that we've got total value of specific bequests, X, and we have a residue, which is the 20 million less 17,400,000. Now let's look at the estate duty computation. The estate duty computation is the 20 million less the duty-free amount of 7 million less the residue of 600,000, which leaves a dutiable amount of 400,000. State duty at 20% is 280,000. Let's have a look at the distribution. Of the 20 million, the first payment is estate duty, which is 2,080, leaving 17,920,000. Heirs receive what the specific value of a specific bequest is, 17,400, so there's been no change there. However, now the charity receives 520,000. What's the effective rate of the estate duty? The 17,400, because that's what the heirs receive. The duty-free amount, which is 7 million, leaving a dutiable amount of 400,000. If you compare that to the estate duty paid, you'll find it's 20%. Now, as I said, the 100 is what the testator chooses as his generosity to give to the charity. If he reduces it to 5, which is his choice, and the charity that it'll go to is his choice, it now makes a specific bequest, which is as a result of the formula of 17,811,667. Once again, the residue is 20 less the 17,811,665, which is 2,188,333. So estate duty computation, 20 million, 7 million less 7 million the 4A allowance, less the residue, the 4H residue, which is 2,188,333, which leaves a dutiable amount of 10,811,667. State duty on that at 20% is 2,163,62333. The estate distribution is, first they pay the estate duty of 2,162,333. That leaves an amount of 17,837,667. The heirs receive their specific bequests of 18,811,667, leaving an amount of 26,000 for the charity. The effective rate is quite clearly what the heirs receive, less what the duty-free amount of 7 million, which is 10,8, a dutiable portion being 10,811,667. If you compare that to the estate duty paid, you'll find it's 20%. So there we go. No risk to heirs, as heirs never get less, depending upon what the testator chooses as a generosity factor. The heirs actually get more. The charity will always benefit, even if they reduce that generosity factor to 1. Thanks. Next we'll move into looking at the codicil itself. Thank you.